Hi everyone, Karen here from Craftily Yours, excited to be sharing with you a design team project that I made for Cut at Home. Today I'm showing you a technique to make fun canvases that I learned from Tim Holtz in a class a couple of years ago, using the Tim Holtz Idea-Ology Wallflower paper. I love this paper, it's so gorgeous. And in the back of this paper pad they have these fun little sections that are just perfect for doing this technique. And so that's what I used. In my case, I have a 6x6 canvas, this one here, and to start I cut a piece of chipboard that was 1 inch smaller than the 6x6 canvas, so in this case it would be a 5x5 piece of chipboard. This is the back of a 6x6 scrapbook paper pad that I am repurposing for this project. Once you cut it in half vertically, to add some interest, you want sections that are somewhat varying in sizes. So if you cut, you might want 1 inch here and a little bit more here and maybe 3 panels on this side. And so with each cut this way, you just remove 1/4 inch and it'll all fit together perfectly. And I'll make sure I add details of this the Cut at Home blog, so that in case you're having a hard time following along the video, there'll be more explanation there. So once you have the panels cut, then comes the fun part. Get to decorate the panels, and I love doing that. So I'm going to set this aside, and this is one of my little panels, and this is the paper that I want to use for this panel. And so I took some glue and add a somewhat liberal amount of glue to the back of the chipboard, like this. And stick it down on the back. And then I have another piece of paper and another panel that I'm going to decorate for this video, if the glue will come out. You want to use a very sticky glue for this because you don't want it coming apart later, of course, when it's hanging on your wall. In this case, I sort of wanted to get some of these flowers, and so I have to think about where I want to put the panel, somewhere around there. Once your glue dries, you take a pair of scissors and just cut the panel out close as you can, although you don't need to get it perfect. If I could just figure out how to use scissors. Okay. So there's one panel, and here is the other. Thank goodness my glue hadn't dried because my panel was a little crooked. Get them all cut out. Then, get rid of my little scrap pieces of paper. Because I know that my cutting's not perfect, I wanted to sand the edges just a little bit to get rid of any rough spots. Something like that. And now you have these panels, and in this case what I've decided to do is I fussy cut a butterfly from the Wallflower stash paper line, and I'm just going to adhere it onto the smaller panel with a glue dot around here. And for this panel, I cut a flower from an Elizabeth's Craft Design die flower set 1, and I just used these pieces. And from Spellbinder's foliage, I cut some leaves here. This is this one. I just used a couple of the sections. And I'm going to adhere that onto the other panel. I think I'll use some glue in this case. Okay, something like, I don't want my flowers to be straight, I want it to be a little crooked. Something like that. Once you get all of your panels decorated, you bring your canvas back in and lay the panels back out and glue them down. So easy, right? So this panel, I just did a stamp. This is right here, right now, and I used some chipboard butterflies from Wow Studio. This panel has some 3-Girl Jam lace and ribbon, and I added a graphic 45 key with a Tim Holtz jump ring there. And then I bring in the one with the flower, something like this. And I have a middle panel on this side that has a word bar that says Live in the Moment. I'm going to set that there. And the butterfly panel here. And you glue them down, and you have a fun canvas that really is pretty easy to make. Thank you for watching today.